Just wanted to go over the PocketWizard AC9. It's a device made by PocketWizard for the Alien Beast strobes and works with their Mini TT1 Flex TT5 system. It's supposed to give you the capability to remotely control the power output of your flash wirelessly. Here I have an Alien Beast 1600. This will also work with the Alien Beast B400, the B800, and the ABR800 ring flash. The ABR800 ring flash I do own, but I do not have it on the table right here. So maybe I'll talk about that some other time as far as demoing it. For those unfamiliar with the TT1 TT5 system, I have a Canon 5D Mark II with a Mini TT1 transmitter on the hot shoe. I have the zone controller, AC3 zone controller on top of the TT1. I have a Flex TT5 transceiver, which will function as the receiver in this demonstration. Traditionally, when you light up or when you're going to trigger a strobe, you just plug it in via the PC sync cord. Turn on the strobe, we'll turn on the TT5, we'll test fire the TT5. This is set to full power right now, so I'll turn my head. Lights up. I'll go ahead and turn on my TT1, which is communicating on the same channel as the TT5. We'll go ahead and light that up. It also works from the test button on the camera or on the TT1. I'll go ahead and use my shutter on the camera to trigger the TT1, in turn triggering the TT5. It also lights up. That's how you traditionally go ahead and use a studio strobe with the PocketWizard system. In this case, we need to use the AC9. AC9, if we want to remotely control the power output of the strobe. The PocketWizard or the Alien Beast strobes use an RJ11 connector on the back, which was designed for their DePaul Buff CyberSync, which is their own radio triggering system. Therefore, in order to send the extra communication signals over radio to the strobe, the AC9 uses the RJ11 port. So we're going to go ahead and piggyback the AC9 on the TT5. We'll go ahead and plug it in with the RJ11 cord, which is basically a phone cord. Put it into the RJ11 connector on the back of the strobe. Instructions say we're supposed to turn on the strobe first. So I'll turn on the strobe. Let's go ahead and test fire that from the back of the strobe using the test button. Lights up. Let's go ahead and turn on the PocketWizards. Go ahead and trigger that through the test button. Also lights up. We're going to go ahead and turn on my TT1, and I will try to test fire it from the test button on the TT1. It also lights up. Okay, we got it going. Let's go ahead and test fire it from the camera. Lights up. Okay, now the actual remote control power output. Right now I have the slider set to, full power, which is 1 of 1 or 1. It goes all the way down to 1/32 power. We have increments. Typically, the increments go from 1/32 to 1/16, 1/4, 1/2, 1. So you're basically having each one. So if 1/2 of that is half of that's quarter, then 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. On the on the AC3 zone controller, you have a +3, -3 scale. +3 corresponds to full power. So if I were going to dial to +3, 3 in the white, we'll go ahead and half shutter button press to send the signal over for the power output setting. We'll go ahead and trigger it. One more time, sorry. That's full power. Go ahead and do +2. We'll go down from 3 to 2. That corresponds to 1/2 power. We'll go and half shutter burst to test fire. Then we'll do another fire. That's half power. We'll do 1 corresponds to 1/4. So we're now +1, not +3. +1 is quarter power. That's quarter power. Let's go ahead and dial down to 0. No, it's 0, not +3, not -3, but 0. 0 corresponds to 1/8 power. Half shutter button press, that's 1/8 power. Let's go ahead and dial down to -1 on the scale, which corresponds to 1/16. That is 1/16 power. We'll go ahead and dial down to -2, which goes to the bottom, which is 1/32. That's 1/32 power. You also have -3 on this dial, but since it doesn't go down to 1/64th, the -3 only corresponds to the bottom end. If you notice, I was half shutter button pressing before each one and making, before I actually fired actually took a photo. The reason why I do that is because when you half shutter button press, that'll force the AC3 to update the TT1, which updates the TT5 over radio. So you're kind of forcing the signal over, so the power output actually, it sends that final power output communications to the strobe so it knows what to fire at. But sometimes it doesn't, even with the half shutter button press, it doesn't recognize it immediately. So you just take a test fire and you're good. And then after that, it should be at whatever power setting you indicated. So that's 1/32 power. Let's go and dial all the way to +3, which is going to be full power on the strobe. I'll go ahead and half shutter button press, then test fire. That's full power. That's full power. We go down back to the other end, which is -3, the full extreme, which is 1/32. We'll test fire. That's full power, obviously, you can kind of tell. And there you go, that's 1/32. So again, it usually takes the first test fire, or first trigger of the shutter to actually register that power output you want. You get a feel for these strobes, or the triggers, once you play around with them. I've been using the TT1, TT5 system for quite some time because I use the Einsteins, which is another Paul C. Buff strobe, but I use it in conjunction with the Power MC2. This is proprietary for the Einstein. Just TT1, AC3, and this on top of the Einstein gives me the same remote control capability. I have a review on that on my blog at ocabj.net. That's ocabj.net. On that article, if you look for it, look for Einstein or look for PocketWizard on my blog, you'll find the video embedded, which is also on YouTube, of me demonstrating how I use the TT1, TT5, AC3, and the Power MC2 with the Einstein to do the same remote control capabilities. A lot of people, they see this setup, it gets kind of overwhelming because there's a lot of moving parts, or a lot of pieces to it rather, and you know, it's sometimes one little thing doesn't work and you're trying to troubleshoot and it gets difficult to use. But once you get it down, you start off with the basics, just you trigger, receiver, get it going, then start adding everything else on. It usually works pretty well. That's pretty much it as far as AC9. Again, go to my blog, ocabj.net. You'll see, I'll probably post an article about this later, and you can see my article and my video about the Einsteins and the PocketWizard system. Maybe I'll do another article, another update while you try this out in the field. Again, I just got this a few weeks ago, cracked open the box today because I haven't had a chance to play around with it, but that's pretty much it. Hope this helps give you a breakdown of the AC9, at least with Alien Bees. Give it a try. It's pretty cheap, 70 bucks. The reason why I use this, even though I have Einsteins, is because this is my first studio strobe. The B1600 is very reliable, and I figured I already had everything else for the Einsteins. I may as well just get this one little piece so I can use it with this strobe, and I can use it on my ABR 800 if I wanted to use that one wirelessly and have power output control over it from my camera without having to walk to it. Gives me options as far as remote strobes. Put these in weird places, you know, make distant key light or distant hair lights or rim lights, and you don't have to walk to it to adjust it. You just got it from the camera. That's pretty much it. I hope this gives you a decent understanding of how everything works, and I'll see you again soon on another video. Thanks.